Well, his podcast is making some serious noise while also providing some much needed laughter.
So we have something new now, Jessica, where the audience is able to ask questions and leave comments. And we have a comment from our former co-host, Benny Banks. And he says, is Jessica I single? If so, what's up, girl? I guess.
All right, from the Rick H Show, please welcome co-host, producer, and mi primo favorito, Rick Hierro.
Oh, thank you, OG. You actually pronounced my name right, which is the reason why I go by Rick H.
See, that's because they don't pronounce your name right? Is that why?
Oh, in high school, you were just joking with the Hero song. They would always say Rick Hero.
Yeah,
So,
I said, but I remixed Hierro. I was like, and then the
Yes, you
Hierro
did.
comes along. And then
Your
you told
Spanish is getting amazing, by the way.
Oh, you can tell?
Yes.
Feliz lunes. Disfruta la semana.
Thank you. Thank
Woo!
you.
I'm so excited to meet you. Let me start by saying that the Rick H Show is no ordinary podcast. You started in September of 2018. You've done more than 100 episodes, 8 specials. You won the 2020 Latin Podcast Award for comedy interviews, and you have a documentary that's about to debut next year. What in the what, primo?
Yeah, it's fantastic. We just took it one step at a time, you know. Right now, we just launched our Uptown Live podcast media. So it's a podcast network for podcasters from Uptown. So we're excited about that. And the documentary does come out next year. And the documentary is based on podcasting and podcasters' lives.
All right, so I'm glad that you're doing a documentary about podcasting because we hear about so many podcasts. We see like a ton of podcasts out there. We hear your accolades and we're in awe because people like you make it look easy. But with success like that, there has to be challenges. So if I want to be like you, Primo, Rick H, I need to know what's up. What are some of the ups and downs of this? Like how does one, like a lot of people want to get into this, especially with the pandemic. How do they go about doing it and what can they look out for?
You just got to be consistent, have great content, and have fun and have an open mind. We try to highlight a lot of creatives from our neighborhood and get the support from the neighborhood first. It is easy to podcast. It's hard to stay consistent. Fellow podcasters, Latinos Out Loud, they've always gave us a lot of like tips on how to stay consistent. They really set the standard for us and we just followed through and we did it in our own way.
All right, so you talked about the community supporting you, and by community, I know you grew up in Washington Heights. Good morning, Rick H. Show. That's my Good Morning Usnavi song that I keep singing now because I watch in the Heights. So how does growing up in a neighborhood like Washington Heights influence the content you put out there, influence you trying to top yourself every single time and striving to be the best of the best?
I just want to tell the stories from our community. You know, Manny Perez is from Washington Heights. He's a well-known actor. He's been on Law and Order. I also wanted to tell a lot of Blacks and Latino stories. So, you know, we've had Oz Rodriguez, who's the SNL director. We've had Mark Clennon, who was the photographer on When They See Us. We've had Andy Diaza, who's very big in the advertisement world. I just wanted to tell those stories first because they hit closer to home for me specifically. You know, Cesar Perez, he invented the Nike De Lo Mio sneaker. And get the support from my community. You know, In the Heights has been great. It's shining a light on the neighborhood. But I wanted to tell other stories, you know. Shout out to Lin-Manuel, by the way.
Yeah, and you keep telling these stories because you've done more than 100 episodes, like I said earlier. So I'm sure that for the 100th episode that you celebrated, how did you celebrate? And why was I not invited? If I am your favorita, your prima favorita, why was I not invited?
You are, mi prima favorita. You are invited officially to the Rick A Show. Season 9 premieres July 6th, so we can have an episode with OG on it. And
will there be cake?
Will there be cake? Obviously, you know, if you want to do it live, we could do it live and in person. We do it virtually. It's so many ways to podcast. We celebrated the 100th episode just having the cast going through different stories and reminiscing on the 99 episodes we did. Unfortunately, we had a guest booked for that day, but as things happen, you have to move things around and write on the fly. That's one thing for podcasters. You always got to be willing to adjust.
Oh, willing to adjust. You can't see me, but I'm because my hand's like down here. I'm taking notes. I'm like willing to, like every single word you're saying, I'm like hanging on to it. And now that we know that we're related, that the whole world knows, you can't avoid me if I try to track you down to find out about podcasting and stuff and how to be great and reach
I
more
think
than
you would
100
be a great
episodes. Like
podcaster.
you
OG.
think so? Tell me more, Rick H. Tell me
100%.
more.
I think you have the personality to be a great host. I think you got experience, obviously.
Well,
interviewing
no,
people, so-
Rick, I don't know who you're talking about. I have not met this woman. It's like, whoever you, I was just like, Harpo, who this woman? Because I don't know who you're talking about. But it's an honor meeting you because I met you via email, by the way. And I'm
Yes,
glad
yes.
we got to make this happen. I am proud of you. I'm going to be stalking you. Coming
Thank
to the
you.
family reunion. You can check out his podcast, The Rick H Show, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And of course, you can subscribe to the show's YouTube channel. It is hilarious. It's incredible. Tell the whole team I said hey.
I will.
And I'll see
We do
them
want you
soon.
on, OG.
Of course. Trust me, you can't like get rid of a stalker. I'll be there. I'll pop up every single day. Such a pleasure, okay? Congrats.
Thank you.